God is good, and with each day that passes brings us a day closer to the launch of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. This is the Nathan NAPALM channel, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing, especially if you're interested in Pantheon-related content on our march to launch. Today, the newsletter has dropped for February and 2019, by the way, and it was pretty good. I mean, we didn't get the big burning question that we wait for month to month, which would be a alpha target date. However, I don't think, judging by the way Brad McQuaid talked in his Q&A, that we'll be hearing about that anytime soon. So it's time to put that away, put that to rest, and move forward with the information that we did get, which is a lot. I mean, it was a good newsletter. The thing I want to talk about today, though, is the artifacts. And now, the artifacts are very interesting to me, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. So, what are they? What do the artifacts do? Well, basically, they're legendary, rare items that the players need to discover to give them some utility, need to do something different, but they are needed if you want to explore and overcome the areas of the game and overcome atmospheres, okay? I'm gonna do a separate video on atmospheres, but in this video, just keep in mind real quick, I gotta do a brief run through some of the examples given for atmosphere, which is different than climate, okay? Climate would be weather related. Atmospheres are more of like environmental dangers. What I thought, you know what, we'll do all the details on that in a later video. So here are some of the examples. So you got like Silencing Mist, the Fog of Confusion, Gloom, Frenetic Floor, Curse of Intangibility, Heavy Air, Shifting Walls, and so you got a lot of different options. And just to give you an idea of what they do, Gloom is something that is described as being in undead ruins, crypts, graveyards, you know, anywhere with a high concentration of the undead. It impacts the players negatively, and of course undead NPCs positively affects them while you're in that area. So what does it do? It drains mana over time, it reduces healing effectiveness, it increases damage inflicted by the undead enemies, and for the undead that's in it, it gives them a bonus to all stats and increases aggro and assist radius. Now I'm going to talk more about that because I could definitely dive deep on this information that we got on this. There's more than what I just covered. I'll cover that in a later video, maybe my next one. But that was just to give you a basic idea before we touch on the artifacts. So the artifacts, that particular atmosphere that I just talked about, Gloom, there's an artifact to deal with that, okay? And it's called the Bone Woven Veil, and it mitigates the Gloom's negative effects. Interestingly enough, it does not get rid of the positive, it doesn't dissipate the gloom, you know what I mean? So there's still a positive effect in that gloom for the NPC. However, it does mitigate the negative things, you know, your mana being drained, your healing effectiveness, and taking more damage from the undead. Now their stats will still be up, the undead, and their aggro and assist radius will still be up, but it helps you. So wearing that gives you protection. They also gave an example of some of the other artifacts. Obviously, this is not all of them, guys. This is just a couple of things that they're throwing out to let you know. It's not all of them. And let me get into it and I'll explain further. So we have the Shield of Mirrors, which is forged by the Mastersmiths of Kadasa, so the dwarves. It can reflect light and has a chance to reflect magical attacks when blocking. So that is awesome. That would definitely be something you might want to have, right? To reflect back magical attacks, you know, a chance every time you get, you know, that you block a magical attack, that it could be, you know, reflected back, and that is cool. And then we have the Skyhold Grappler, which is fashioned by the Gnomes of Skyhold, which assists in advanced terrain traversement. So the Skyhold Grappler can latch onto certain surfaces and pull you to the targeted location. Oh my goodness, guys. Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda, get your grappling hook and feel some freedom. I like that. That's cool. Now, here's the deal, guys. As we're going through these, you'll notice I'm mentioning a race. That does not mean, though, that only the gnomes get the Skyhold Grappler. That's the gnomes' relic. The artifact. That is not what this is saying. It's a artifact of the gnomes. Okay, it doesn't mean that a human can't go get it. It means that it's probably in the vicinity of the gnomes starting city, right? Or somewhere in that cluster of zones is probably where you'll get it. It doesn't mean that you have to be a gnome to get it. That's not what they're saying, so I want to make that clear. Next up, we have the Ring of Anchors. This is infused with bitterness of the dark mirror. This ring was designed to sink the wearer to the deepest reaches of the ocean. Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Once again, here we go. Heavy boots, put them on, sink, get to the bottom of the ocean, maybe drown if you don't have the right potions, etc. I like that though. That is actually, I don't just like that, I love that. I thought it was so cool back in the day in Legend of Zelda because I didn't expect it to happen when I could actually put these boots on Explorer up, you know, deep down underneath the Lake Hylia. So I thought that was awesome, and I think it'll be even magnified times 1 billion in an MMO where I can go down into oceans, lakes, even a pond. I want to see what's down there. I don't like leaving rocks unturned, man. I like to explore for real. So don't be surprised if when the game launches, you catch me just jumping down a random pond and putting on my Ring of Anchors and sinking to the bottom. I just want to make sure, man, there might be something down there, you know what I mean? Just keep in mind, like, Bilbo Baggins dropped that ring in some random cave. I always think about that, so, you know, there could be some treasure lurking anywhere, man. You just never know. Next up, we have the Crest of Illumination. So this Archive crown was imbued with a powerful, resonating light source that can shine through the blackest darkness. So, you know, we know there's going to be areas where it's going to be so dark that, like, you know, it's almost an atmosphere, but I don't think, I guess they would consider it atmospheric, but it's so dark that you need something to get through it, you know what I mean? So this is a crown that kind of shines through, so it's a light source, and that's pretty cool. That's the examples they gave us. Now keep in mind, as mentioned in the newsletter and as mentioned 10,000 times throughout the development of Pantheon Rise of Fallen, this game is all about the PvE, the environment, meaning something, you know, and, you know, these examples, and they're not all of the artifacts, but these examples kind of give us a little glimpse into the things, the tools that we can go out in the world and get and earn and find, and it won't be easy, guys. It won't be easy, but we can. It's possible. We can work hard. We can get them, and we can get these advantages against the environment, which is going to be fighting back. The environment is a serious deal in Pantheon Rise of Fallen. It's going to be pushing back constantly on all fronts, and I thought this was really cool. Next up, probably tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about the atmosphere, going into more detail about that. But I hope you enjoyed the video today. Go check out the newsletter right there on PantheonMMO.com, the official website. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, or at least thought about something differently. And thank you guys for joining me. Leave me a comment down below. Thank you very much. God bless and happy gaming. But please just subscribe. I can't even describe being part of my tribe. I'll even offer you a prize, but just please just subscribe and hit the bell notification too.